All right, this is an example video to help you with getting started even further onto the adding and subtracting rationals. This is assignment number 3. So you have 16 problems. We've done a few together. At the bottom, here are the possible answers that you can get for this assignment. The colors are telling you what color to color the certain numbers. So when you flip to this page, you'll see that there are numbers into the certain spaces. These are not the answer numbers, these are the question numbers. So we'll get to how that kind of aligns with what you color. So when I am starting today, I'm going to be working on a separate sheet of paper, which you can do, or you can try and fit it into the boxes as well. It doesn't matter, it's up to you of how you want to do it. I'm going to show you a few. So we're going to start with 1, 4, 13, and 6. So if I look at number 1, if you're writing on a piece of paper, I would write out the question first before you start answering. So if I look at number 1, I'm going to zoom in. I have a subtraction problem. So before I can do anything else, I need to do my keep, change, opposite. So I'm going to keep my first number the same. I'm going to change subtraction to add, and then I take the opposite, which would be a negative. So now I have a positive and a negative, which means I have different signs. If you have different signs, you're going to subtract. So I'm going to always take the bigger minus the smaller when I'm subtracting. So underneath, I'm going to put 32.5 minus my 28.9. And when you are working with decimals, you always have to line up your decimal points before you do anything else. So I cannot do 5 minus 9, which means I need to borrow from the 2. That becomes a 1, and this becomes 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. I bring down my decimal. I cannot do 1 minus 8, so again I need to borrow from the 3. 3 becomes a 2, and 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3, and then 2 minus 2 is 0, so we don't need to put a 0 there. This is not my final answer though, because you need to look back. 32.5 is bigger, so because it's a negative, my answer is also going to be a negative. So now my answer is a negative 3.6. So if I look back at my paper, I'm looking for negative 3.6, and I see that it's right here under light brown. So when I am coloring, since this was number 1, all of my 1s are going to be the color light brown. And you can even put in the box here or on your paper here, LB, which means light brown. I would maybe save the coloring for the end, but that is up to you. And if you want to cross off your answers, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go to 16 to keep our decimals together. So in this one, I don't have any subtraction. I just have an adding, so I don't need to do keep, change, opposite. And they're both positive, so I know that I'm just going to add them together and keep my answer positive. So I'm going to take 3.68 plus my 9.7. Again, line up your decimals before you do anything else. If you want, you can put a placeholder of 0. And now you just add. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 7 is 13. Carry your 1. Bring down your decimal. 1 plus 3 plus 9 gets you 13. My answer is going to stay positive because, again, they're both positive numbers. So you would look back at your paper and you're looking for a positive 13.38 at the bottom. And I noticed that it is under black. So that means all of the 16s are going to be black. And again, you can cross it off. You can write B for black, so you know that all your 16s will be black. And that's pretty much decimals. Decimals, just make sure you line up correctly and make sure that you're borrowing correctly if you need to or carrying over. Fractions is where it gets a little bit trickier. So on number 4, I have 5 1/2 minus 7. So since I have subtraction, I need to do my keep, change, opposite. So I keep, change, and then opposite. So now I have a positive and a negative. So since I have different signs, I need to subtract. 7 is bigger, so when I subtract, I'm going to put 7 on top, and then minus 5 1/2. 7 doesn't have a fraction here to subtract from 1/2. So basically think of it almost like there's 0 here. I cannot take 0 minus 1/2, so I need to borrow. So 7 now becomes a 6. So this is where the difference comes in between decimals and fractions. So with decimals, you would just add a 10 and say, now I have 10 minus 1. But in this case, because you're taking a whole, you're not just going to add 10. So look at your denominator. My denominator is a 2. So imagine this is 0. So if I'm adding a whole to 0, I'm adding a 2 over 2 because 2 over 2 is 1 whole. So now I have 2 over 2 minus 1 over 2, and I can do that. 2 minus 1 is 1, so I have 1/2, and then 6 minus 5 is 1, so I have 1 1/2. Looking back, 7 is bigger, 7 is negative, so my answer is a negative 1 1/2. I know I cannot simplify any further because the only number that can go into 1 and 2 is 1, and if I divide by 1, it stays the same. So I know this is my final answer. So when I look back at my paper, I see a negative 1 1/2 is under red. So then I know that all of the 4s are going to be red. Okay, looking at 13, this is going to be the last one. Okay, it's already adding, so I don't need to do keep, change, opposite. But look at your denominators. Your denominators are not the same. So before I can add them together, I have to change my denominators to be the same. So I know 4 can turn into an 8 by multiplying by 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 on the top and the bottom, which now gets me 5 6/8 plus my 2 5/8. And if you want to write that out, you can. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm just going to focus on my fractions first. So let's do 6 plus 5. When I do 6 plus 5, I get 11 over 8. This is what we call improper. So because it's improper, it means that my numerator is greater than my denominator, which is true. 11 is bigger than 8. So before I can do anything else, I need to change this to a mixed number. And we do that by taking 11 divided by 8. So if I do 11 divided by 8, thinking of your multiples of 8, I know 8 can go into 11 only one time before it goes over. 1 times 8 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. So this is your whole number. Your 1 is your whole number. 3 is your now new numerator. So I have 1 and 3/8. Now remember, this is just from these two being added together. Okay? So I still need to bring down the 5 and the 2 with the 1. So what is 5 plus 2 plus 1? Well, that would be 8. And then I have my 3/8. If I look at my chart, I know nothing else can go into 3 and 8. And it's going to stay positive because both of them were positive to begin with. So my final answer is 8 and 3/8. So when I look back at my paper on the bottom, I see that pink is my 8 and 3/8. So all of my 13s are going to be pink. So we just did 4 more problems together to help you get started. If you do not understand, remember you can look back at your notes, and all I'm asking for is to just try and do your best. Wednesday we will go back over it again together, so that way we're understanding and we don't move on until we're getting this down.